Oh, you're switching up now, huh? This video is brought to you by Beating Black and Blue, being a black cop in America under siege. My brand new book, link is in the description section. Download the podcast, the B. Tatum Show podcast on all podcasting platforms. Y'all know what to do. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. Charlemagne, the fraud, the God is what he called himself, lowercase g, because in no way, form, or fashion is he a God. And that no disrespect to Charlemagne. It's just that I don't see Charlemagne as being a wealth of knowledge, a man that I look up to and say, oh man, he keep it real. He's knowledgeable. I gain valuable information by listening to Charlemagne the God. I think that Charlemagne the God is being brainwashed and in a position I used to be in, believing all these myths of systemic racism and all this old stuff that just destroy black people. If y'all don't know who Charlemagne is the one that was in the clip with Joe Biden where Joe Biden said, if you don't know if you want to vote for me or Trump, then you ain't black. And Charlemagne really didn't check him on it. He should have checked him on it, but y'all know how it is. They don't want to get cussed out because they disrespecting a Democrat. However, this clip to me reveals a lot. Charlemagne, tell us what you really think now after going through not even a year of Biden's administration. Roll the film.
Man, where's Trump? Yeah. Get this motherfucker out of here. They feel like they would rather get it raw. Yeah. Like, you know what? At least we know where that motherfucker is. These motherfuckers is gassing us up, lying to us, promising us and didn't deliver. I cannot wait to see, and I'm already watching it. I'm watching Democrats start the campaign. They're already like, Hillary, you got to go out there and vote. Like democracy depends on it. I'm like, when y'all gonna start governing like democracy depends on it? No, for real.
Hey, that's the end of the clip. I should end the clip right there. What else needs to be said? Charlemagne, all y'all, this is what we've been saying for the longest. We Uncle Tom Coon, bootleg and sellout. We've been telling y'all this from the very beginning. Joe Biden ain't done nothing. These people the Democrats ain't done nothing that they say they were gonna do ever. Quit believing the party switch. It never happened. The parties didn't switch. It was two Dixiecrats who switched to the Republican Party. Two of them, one in the House, one in the Senate. That is it. There was no huge exodus of Democrats to Republicans. The racist Democrats became Republicans. That wasn't true. All of the racist Democrats remain racist Democrats in the Democrat Party. All you have to do is look at the ultimate conclusion of the South. The least racist the South became, the more Republican it became. It was run by Democrats, ladies and gentlemen, when it was the most racist. The Democrat Party is the party of slavery. The Democrat Party is the party of Jim Crow. The Democrat Party, the Republican Party unanimously voted so that black people had the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments to be passed. They unanimously voted for the Civil Rights Act. Democrats did not. If it wasn't for Republicans unanimously voting, there would be no Civil Rights Act. There would be no passage of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, which is freeing blacks of slaves, giving them citizenship, and giving black people the right to vote. None of that would happen without the Republican Party. And of course, this is something that I learned. I was like Charlemagne them, believing all the lies. And then they started breaking out one at a time. Wait, that's not true? Well, what else is not true? What else is not true? Democrats ain't never done nothing they supposed to do for black people. If you ask me, they destroyed the black community or parts of the black community. Because think about it. Why aren't black people as prominent as people claim Jewish people are? Why don't black people have their own communities, secret societies, or whatever people claim? Why don't black people have that? Why don't you look around and all of the hair salons and the weave companies are all owned by black people? What about black banks? Why come when you go to some of these major cities like Atlanta, there's not tons of black banks? Black people have been having money for a very long time. In the 20s, we had Black Wall Street, the Harlem Renaissance. You could go down the list of black success. Some of the greatest inventors of all time were black men who invented some of the greatest things. The first female millionaire of any race was a black woman. Madam C.J. Walker, Sarah Bree Love was the first black millionaire. There was plenty of black people that were police officers in the 1700s, 1800s. Police officers. We live in this mythical arena that black people somehow just got rights. that black people just have had an opportunity since the 60s. We've been doing it. This was a fight for respect in the South. We've been doing this. And my goal in many cases to wake up people like Charlemagne and say, bro, what have they done for you? Remember all them promises they made? What promises they made? They got it at the border. They gonna give money to people, refugees in Afghanistan. What are they doing for the inner city communities? What has Kamala done? What did Obama do? He's the first black president. What did Obama do? Chicago is worse now than it was before he became president. And during his administration, there were more black men lost their lives in Chicago alone in Obama's administration than in Afghanistan and Iraq combined of total U.S. troops. Under Obama's administration, the first black president, what have they done? What have they done except gaslight us? America in general, especially black people. Oh, they gonna put y'all back in chains. The Republicans, no. What have y'all done? Y'all got the power now. Trump ain't in office. Trump at Mar-a-Lago. What are y'all doing? Where's this reparation talk? Oh, it ain't there. Oh, it ain't there. Oh, it ain't. Where's the incentives or plans specifically for black people? Oh, it ain't there. This was supposed to be the party of the black man. It ain't there. They have no legislation. They have no agreements. They have no bills. And then they're going to trick you into the Build Back Better, trick you into voting rights. They're going to throw a black man name on a voting bill to get you confused. Black people's issue with voting ain't got nothing to do with IDs. That's illegal. Aliens' issue with voting is identification. They don't want them to present ID so that they can just stroll up in there and put whatever name they want. No verification for them. It ain't for black people. We have IDs. You can't go to the liquor store without an ID. You can't fly on a plane without an ID. You can't get a bank account without an ID. I don't even think you can get food stamps without an ID. You can't rent a house without an ID. You can't rent an apartment without an ID. You can't start a business without ID. And you telling me black people are somehow not involved in society? You can't go to the doctor's office without an ID. You can't go to the Admirals Club in the airport without an ID. You can't get on the airplane without an ID. You can't even have a car without a driver's license. You can't get insurance. I mean, everything in life involves an ID except voting. Come on now. Y'all still believe in that? Charlemagne, no. He probably have a car. He know he can't drive without an ID. He know he can't go down there and buy anything without an ID. Sometimes when you use your credit card, you got to show your ID with the credit card. But somehow black people are not involved in society. We just live on an island somewhere, just existing. Without the internet, according to Joe Biden, without IDs, we don't have a driver's license, we don't have personal ID, we don't have nothing to identify ourselves. As if we ain't been voting. As if we don't have the right to vote. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, Charlemagne the God, you need to wake up, brother. You need to have me on your show so I can set the record straight, because all you do is bring Democrats on there. I mean, I don't need no clout. You know, my show will probably get as many views as yours do, but you need to have some more diverse conversations on the show. The Breakfast Club only have Democrats, only have left wings. Bring a brother on there and have a real conversation. Bring your boy D.L. Hughley and all them other dudes on there, and let's have a real conversation about reality in the black community. Anyway, talk to y'all on the next video. I'm out.